We're going to take a look at a tool called Fivetran that helps with building pipelines for the modern data stack. If you have data in multiple different sources, you want to bring that into your data warehouse like Snowflake to rationalize that, analyze that, produce reports. Fivetran would be the tool to look at. Fivetran is a cloud-based application. You can access Fivetran by the web. And in today's video, we're going to dive in, create an account, and walk through a demo of loading data into our Snowflake account, leveraging Fivetran. Let's jump in and start by creating the Fivetran account to use for the demo. After logging in, you're going to be brought to a page that looks something like this. In Fivetran, there are three concepts to pay attention to. The very first one are the connectors. So think about connectors as being the source systems from which you're going to be pulling data from. Here, we can add a new connector. This is where we get data from to bring into our data warehouse, neatly classified into your typical RDBMSs, which would be your source. This might be the databases powering your production applications, marketing analytics, running campaigns, segmentation. You want to pull all this data and bring that into your Snowflake for analysis. When folks are thinking about tools to help with pipeline and data integration, you always want to think about the source ecosystem and how many connectors are available for you to use. Fivetran has hundreds available to use as your sources. You can either browse with the categorization or you can go in and do a quick search. For us, we're going to be leveraging Google Sheets. The data we're going to use will come from Google Sheets. Click on this, continue the setup, and authenticate into your Google Sheet. Test that connection. Continue. You can choose specific columns to be synced for privacy or security reasons, or you can sync all the data. We're using a mock data, so go ahead and sync all of that data. Now, with the data setup and our connector setup, we can begin the initial sync. Again, before we run that, just to validate, pointing to Snowflake as our destination. If we go over to the Snowflake instance, we can validate that no table is available being synced. Let's go back to our connectors. Click on that connector we set up and begin an initial sync. Now, the first time sync should read the spreadsheet and have that data loaded into Snowflake. Let's go over to the Snowflake site and do a refresh. It takes a few seconds. If we go into logs, we can see the sync was successful. And the last sync was completed about a minute or so ago. Now let's go over to Snowflake. Go ahead and do a refresh. We can see a new schema has been created for Google Sheets. And within that schema, we should see two tables being created, one for the demo hub customers. And these are customers that we're loading from the Google Sheets in real time. Then we have a Fivetran audit, which is very relevant for auditing the success or the failure. And if we preview this, we see the data being loaded from Google Sheets. And we can also go down into the audit table and do a data preview with Snowside. And we can see this run was initiated, update start time, ID, and some really good metadata to use for troubleshooting, for triaging, and seeing how many records were loaded for reporting purposes, or for just having good observability around the pipeline. So there you have it. Going back into Fivetran, if we wanted to rerun this again, we can always update that. If this is a one-time load, we want to disable this pipeline, we can go ahead and disable that. If you wanted to bring data from multiple different sources, of course, you can go in, select your source, AWS, and go through the configuration. And you can have that data syncing into your data warehouse. Now, once the data comes into data warehouse, another concept to think about, we're not going to cover that in this demo, but certainly a capability that's available is to activate that data, is to do transformations on that data. Fivetran does provide options for leveraging SQL. If you think about ELT, E, extract, L, you load, and then the transformation part of it. Here you can leverage SQL, put in some SQL commands. We'll touch on this in a different demo on how you want to transform that data within your Snowflake data warehouse, do aggregations and joins and merging. You can also leverage dbt, very popular database build tool. And this is the dbt core. dbt does have the core and it has a cloud, which is the UI. If you're just going through the core, you have some scripts in dbt to transform that data within your data warehouse, and that code is committed to Git. Here you can connect to Git and run those transformations. These are concepts we're going to touch in future videos. For folks who are curious about pricing, there is a pricing calculator here to show and give you an estimate on how that billing looks like. There are several options for pricing. For things like this, I typically will recommend you talk to an account team at the Fivetran to get a sense of what that all looks like. So there you have it, a quick demo of Fivetran, which is a very popular pipeline tool for moving data into modern data platforms like Snowflake. It's all cloud-based. Key concepts are the connectors. You can point to different sources, ingest data, both as batch in one-time upload or do incremental changes to bring them up into your data warehouse. And once in your data warehouse, you can certainly do transformations, leveraging SQL to transform that data natively in your warehouse, or leveraging options like dbt core to transform that within your warehouse. There are also options for aggregating log data within Fivetran. This is becoming more and more popular as organizations are becoming security conscious. Being able to collect and syndicate all the log data into your destination is becoming a big need. So Fivetran provides the ability to connect your logging service to get data. If you click on this, you can get to CloudWatch, Azure Log, Datadog, Splunk. So think about syndicating all of this data into your data warehouse to activate, look at incident response, threat hunting, other things that the cybersecurity folks would be interested with. So there you have it, a quick demo of Fivetran, a tool within the modern data ecosystem. I hope this was helpful to you. If you do want us to dive in and make demos around the integration with DBTs or how you do transformations with basic SQL, let us know in the comment section below. I will see what we can do. Again, thanks for watching this episode. This has been Fro with Demo Hub, and I'll see you in the next demo.